Hi, I'm Brian Malow, and we are live from Lindau, Germany for the 73rd Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting. And I am speaking with one of the Sciathon finalist teams. This year, back in April, Lindau had the 4th annual Sciathon. And the Sciathon is like a hackathon, and teams were assembled and competed, 10 teams. The theme was physics as a driver of sustainability, something like that. And so these team members did not know each other before the hackathon, Sciathon, sorry, it's like a hackathon. And so you were really just meeting in person for the first time, right?
Yes.
There was a lot of Zoom meetings. Right. So let me ask who you are. And the idea for the Sciathon, each project idea originated with an alumnus of a previous meeting. So 2 of these members attended previous meetings, and 1 is a physics attendee this year. So you are no longer young scientists, you're members of the Lindau Alumni Network, and you're a young scientist. But Friday afternoon, you will no longer be a young scientist. In the vernacular of the meeting, you will join the Lindau Alumni Network. So let me ask you who you are, and when did you attend? And you're not a physicist, are you?
I am Mana Al-Hinay. I am from Oman. I am alumni of the Lindau meeting 2022. It was for chemistry. I'm working in nanomaterials and material science and engineering for different applications, including the water treatment, CO2 capturing, or environmental remediation.
Excellent. And
I'm the young scientist of the team. I'm Richards, I'm from Latvia, and I'm researching nanomaterials for drug delivery to the cancer cells, targeted delivery. And
I'm seeing there's a nanomaterials connection here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and does it carry on?
Yes and no. So my name is Shan Zaidi. I'm an alumni, so by definition, not a young scientist, but okay, it's up to debate. So I attended Lindau meeting in 2018. It was physiology and medicine. And it was a great experience. Then I had this call for Sciathon where I submitted as a group leader the topic. And these guys liked my topic. And then on the day of Sciathon, we got together and this idea was born.
So tell me, what's the idea that you pitched?
This is the guy who's leading the idea.
Oh, okay. But you pitched the idea, but he's the spokesperson?
He's the young scientist, so I
He's the young
him.
scientist.
Okay.
And I should say, from my perspective, you're all young scientists. And keep being young scientists, but also members of the Alumni Network. So what was the project idea?
So our project idea was to make agriculture more sustainable. So currently there is a lot of pesticide use, and we are trying to find the ways how can we reduce pesticide use and make everything safer for humans, animals, insects, and keeping the yields of plants okay.
Yeah, so one of the things, like jumping ahead a little bit, like in some of the feedback that you got, which was really positive feedback. What one little bit was somebody mentioned that, first of all, that 2 words, that nanoparticles is a scary word to people, and that pesticides are, but the whole point of the project is to reduce the use of pesticides. So
Yes.
it's like, yeah, it's a bad word, but the concept is we're here to reduce the use of pesticides. How?
So the idea is that currently the pesticides are used. They just spray everything on a schedule, and they don't care if the pesticide is still present in the field. They just spray again. So
Because they don't know where it is and isn't, right?
Yes, they don't know it. They just spray the plants to keep the yields, but in turn the insects are dying, and the animals are being hurt, and humans also are being hurt. So by introducing, like making these nanoparticles, that scary word, of pesticides, you can reduce usage of the pesticides, thus keeping insects safer, humans more safe, and keeping the yields of the plants still at the same level.
Yeah.
So like using several technologies that might reduce these bad things that people say about it and make something positive from them.
Excellent. And it sounds challenging. It sounds like there's a lot of pieces to it, and some of this was discussed in the feedback section. Because that's like, before I saw your presentation, I was wondering, it's like, what's this about fluorescence? What's the importance of the fluorescence? And
Yeah, this is another part of our project, is that we want to reduce pesticide use even further. So by introducing some way for farmers to monitor the pesticide concentration in the field, they can spray it only when needed, not just spray on a schedule as they're doing
And
now.
so there was a lot of talk in the feedback about how the method of interpreting, reading the sensors, I guess, that read the fluorescence. So is that something that, you made it kind of sound like you walk around and check, but is there a way, Heiner Linke suggested, is there a way that like a machine that spreads the pesticide could also be reading it to determine whether it needs it right there?
This was a great idea, because we were thinking how to monitor it. Our idea was, for farmer to go around, but the idea that was suggested about attaching the sensor of the pesticide concentration to the tractor was, I think, a great idea that
And
should
then,
be implemented.
is it possible, is it something that could be read from above, like not even from that machine, but could drones or something flying over, could it at night, is the fluorescence enough to be detected like from a higher vantage point? So you could take it all in at once? Is that possible?
Well, this is up for experiment. This is up for experiment. It might be. The problem with luminescence is that the intensity with which you excite and the luminescence intensity, it falls with distance. So the closer you are, the stronger the signal. Maybe the signal from our solution will be strong enough so you can just fly over it, but probably you will just...
And it's the inverse square law, right? It
Yes,
falls
yes,
off as
yes,
the
yes,
square of the
yes.
distance,
Exactly.
just like gravity. So let me ask you about, so what was it like? So back in April, you started developing this idea over those 4 to 8 hours, and then you became one of the finalists. So you've continued to work on it since April. And then what was it like to finally be here and present the project?
Yeah, it's. I think it was, at least for me,
Yeah.
it was really great, especially the feedback we got from all the diverse people who were in the room, and they really, because we as scientists have different perspective, and we are very excited about technology, but it was really good to have this feedback from investors and other entrepreneurs, what they think about the latest technology. I don't know if Muna has something to add.
First of all, since we are a multidisciplinary team, through this experience I got to learn new aspects. Maybe I didn't put it in mind before, but by participation in this Sciathon, I learned a lot from my team and from today's discussions. During the discussion itself and even after the event, when we went for the coffee break, we had lots of discussions with the business holders. And as Sean said, yes, we put many things in mind that we didn't think about before.
Excellent.
Which is important if we would like to go to start up a business or a company from a research.
Yeah, exactly.
And is that yeah? So is that the plan and the hope is that you can develop a company and a business
Yes,
out of this? Yeah.
Actually, when we start this idea back in April, we put in mind that it will be a proof of concept, and from there we can go to next level. And then yes, we would like to think about the business as well.
Excellent. Let me ask you a little bit about the meeting, and Moon, why don't you continue? What year you attended in 2022?
Yes.
So it's been 2 years. Was there any a highlight or anything that stands out? I kind of want to know if there was any particular highlights, but also 2 years removed, what do you think of the experience and maybe what role it's played in your career so far?
Yeah. First of all, during 2022, I get to discuss with the Nobel laureates, especially those who are in my area, like in graphene oxide. And when you discuss with the inventor himself, for sure you can ask many questions that you not get them in searching in Google or in literature. And other than that, the idea of coming back to Lindau, it's a challenge. And I put this in mind that, it's more challenging than to be a young scientist like him.
Yeah.
So to be back again, it's a real challenge, but to do it within 2 years, it's really fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm going to skip over you for a moment. And you're 4 years out from the meeting you attended, right? Yeah. So tell me, do you...
6 years.
Six years, 2018. Wow, you're not a young scientist at all. So from 2016, any highlights? And again, so has it had an effect on your career? Did you make friends, collaborators? What's the meeting meant to you?
Oh, definitely. It is still one of the biggest highlights